In the back seats, the big boys whispered and scuffled and slammed their books. Mr. Corse said sternly, "A little less disturbance, please." For a minute, they were quiet. Then they began.
Today is day 2 of our homeschool year. The middle boys, Owen and Evan, are home today, so they're starting their school year too. It's much more chaotic today than yesterday. I don't know what factors play into that, but I am convinced that nursing breaks were intended to help mamas to remember to sit down and relax for a minute. Because otherwise, I don't think I would sit down during the day. We just got back from a quick trip into town, which is never really a quick trip. It ended up taking us 2 hours, I think maybe 3 hours. And now we have to head back in the house, finish off our school day, and get dinner ready. Our trip into town was supposed to just be to fill up our gas tank for our generator. But I figured while we were in town, we might as well upload a couple of videos. And then we might as well grab a pack of ice. And then we might as well get some things for dinner. It's kind of like if you give a mouse a cookie, right? if you make a mom go to town, she has all the things she needs to do because she just wants to go to town once this week. So that was my goal. My goal was to get all the things I needed in town. I planned on making a batch of pickles, Wickle style, sweet and spicy pickles this week. I also wanted to ferment some banana peppers, and as you guys know, all of our pepper plants went. So I stopped at the Amish on the way home and grabbed those peppers. I try and avoid the Walmarts as much as possible just because they aren't my jam. But they have one thing that I super love. It's like my favorite Walmart deal. They're frosting buckets. They're food grade. They're only $1. Some Walmarts even give them away for free, but my Walmart sells them for $1. They're 5 gallons and they kind of stink like frostings, but I scrub them out. But that's what I store all of our bulk foods in. Is that yummy, Hattie? While the kids are finishing up school and eating their beans, I'm going to work on the tortillas, the pico, and all the other things on my list. It always comes back to the mom bun, y'all. I try and keep it cute with the side braid, but the mom bun always wins. One of our favorite ways to use up garden fresh tomatoes is by a quick pico de gallo. It's just tomatoes, onions, jalapenos, a little bit of salt, some cilantro, and some lime juice. It's really simple, it's really fresh, and it really brightens up any Mexican dish or even just chips. So we love to eat our tomatoes that way. Our family's not huge on biting a tomato like an apple out of the garden. At least I didn't think they were, but they're starting to prove me wrong. Every time someone goes out to the garden, they end up eating a tomato, whether it be Brandon or Hattie or any one of the girls. So we're starting to become tomato connoisseurs, I guess. I guess that's what happens when you grow your own tomatoes. So Abby and I are gonna finish up this pico de gallo. We're gonna let it marry in the fridge, and then we're gonna start on the tortillas. The funny thing about that pico is everything was grown locally except for the cilantro. My cilantro had an accident with the weed eater and it got taken out. So I had to buy the cilantro at the Krogs, and everything else is local. The jalapenos are local, the tomatoes are from our yard, and we even grew the onions this year. I'll share the link to the tortilla recipe below. I got it from Living Traditions Homestead. Kevin and Sarah for the win, you guys. They share the simplest bread recipes that I've found. They're the simplest and they turn out the best. So I'll go ahead and share that link below, but we double it, just so you guys know. Is it cold? To preserve the crunch of our pickles, we are soaking them in a saltwater brine covered in ice overnight, or up to 18 hours. And then I'm gonna finish the pickling process tomorrow. Next, I'm gonna skim the cream off of this milk jar right here. Thanks, babe. And save just a little bit of that cream line to mix in. And then I'm gonna use this gallon of milk to make a batch of mozzarella cheese that we will use for our dinner tonight. Something super interesting from my friend Carolyn over at Homesteading Family. She explains that raw milk has a way higher fat content than grocery store whole milk, which only has 4%. Raw milk has 3 layers of cream. The top cream is your heavy cream. The middle layer, or that second layer right there, is a half and half, or your thin cream. And then this bottom layer is your coffee cream or your light cream. I thought that was super fascinating. I am just in love with dairy cows, and I am doing everything I can to learn about them. And the more I learn, the more I want one. There are actually a ton of really awesome mozzarella cheese tutorials out there. I know Living Traditions does one. I know Roots and Refuge, Jess over there does one. I can't do any better than any of those, so I'm just gonna whip this cheese up before my guys come home, and I will leave the links to those great recipes or great tutorials below.
What do you sprinkle on it?
Come on. Oh man. Okay.
The cheese is done. We are working on the tortillas now. And then we'll just fill those tortillas up with some black beans that I have in the Instant Pot, and we'll have a little bit of that pico, and I might make some rice if I have time, not too sure. But that's it, that's dinner. That is our typical Wednesday. Is today Wednesday? Guys out, oh, it's Tuesday. That's a typical Tuesday for us. All right guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. Thanks for following along on this crazy journey of life that we live. We are so grateful for each and every one of you. We will see you on the next one.
Bye. Bye. The meatballs.
Yep. Where are they gonna go? What do we do with the meat birds?
They're gonna grow up. We're gonna eat them.